What's an extremely controversial opinion you hold? No child left behind is crap, and in relation to that, not everyone is meant to go to college. As an alternative to college, there needs to be better support for apprenticeships and trade schools. My wife is a teacher and we both have been saying for years that one of the biggest problems with schools is the overemphasis on everyone needs to go to college. Vocational schools are getting more and more scarce and it is a huge problem. One of her principals actually reprimanded her for telling a student who was really good with cars to go to a vocational school, do some apprenticeships volunteering, and explaining to him how a good mechanic can make bank and that's before they open their own shop. Reprimanded. Good point. When I was in school I felt the slower kids getting all the teachers' attention so the smart kids were just bored. Women can't do everything a man can do. I'm a woman and I agree with you. However, it goes both ways. Men and women are just not the same. We know can dunk, but good fundamentals. The Nazis had exceptional tailors. Hugo Boss made uniforms for the SS. Now that's a snazzy Nazi. All immigrants, to whatever country, must learn the language to a conversational level. There should be no barrier to communication whatsoever. There should not be translation departments for every council. When I came to America I learned English because that's what people speak. I don't see how people can just not learn English when they come here. I mean, if you came to Russia I know you'd at least learn a little Russian first. My Russian friend, in reference to an argument with his Spanish teacher, who thinks we should accommodate people who just don't want to learn English. That most of the people in here know damn well that Reddit agrees with them, but just want free upvotes. If there's a sex offender registry, why isn't there a murder, manslaughter, aggravated homicide registry? Too many policemen on the list. In a lot of states, there is. Violent offender registry. Reddit is full of pseudo-intellectual teenagers who need to grow up. Shut up. Some of us are pseudo-intellectual 30-somethings. Euthanasia should be legalized. I have a few, but only two come to mind right now. 1. We are not all born equal. Physically or socially. There are those who are born more capable than others. 2. Connected to the first. Retarded kids should be given a very basic free education to approach as self-sufficient as their disorder allows, but not waste tons of taxpayers' money so that they can graduate and play with sticks and boogers all day. My high school had a special lift installed for a physically and mentally disabled kid in a wheelchair who had almost no concept of what was going on most of the time. He mostly just made noises in various classes and probably still does that all day long. Edit. I didn't expect this to get so many replies. I had a reply farther down that was relevant, but I'm afraid it may not be seen. I don't actually mind the lift. That was a poor example. I support kids with physical disabilities attending school as normally as they can. I'd agree with your opinion, and maybe even take it a step further. High school should have way more life skills now than the traditional schooling we currently receive has. Classic literature is great, but most students do not have the depth of thinking to benefit from it. Reddit Redneck's curriculum for normal students. 1. Finances, balancing checkbook, keeping a budget, pitfalls of credit. Incredibly important in today's world. 2. Empathy, attempting to give kids the ability to look through another person's eyes, understand why some people make different choices, and not condemn others for being different. 3. Critical thinking, have the students look at a problem, and identify why it is a problem, then working towards a solution. Thinking outside of the box. 4. Drugs, alcohol, sex. Today's youth needs a much more in-depth program on these issues to be able to make informed decisions. When you tell them weed and heroin are terrible, they try weed and find out it's not terrible. They think you're lying about heroin too. Big mistake. 5. Expanded shop classes. I'm not talking about building stupid wooden shelves. Kids should learn how basic plumbing, electric, and mechanical things work, and how to troubleshoot fix them. Automotive repair should also be touched upon. 6. Nutrition. This should be higher on my list. Food is cheap, quick or nutritious, pick 2. We need to teach kids how to prepare cheap, nutritious meals. Teach them how to make a big meal on Sunday so they can pack their lunches and save money while eating quick and healthy. 7. Math up to algebra. Most students are right when they say they won't need this math. Make sure they are super proficient in everything up to algebra, and they'll be much better suited for everyday life than if they get frustrated with higher math and shun it all. Lincoln was wrong. Should have let them secede. AA is a cult. Just a reminder. You might want to sort this thread by controversial to get the most controversial. Semicolon. Otherwise the least controversial by Reddit standards is the most likely to be at the top. Blind nationalism and patriotism are bullshit. You shouldn't be proud of where you live just because you live there. Be proud of where you live because of what it contributes to the world and what it provides and affords to its citizens. I know this isn't controversial around Reddit, but in society, at least where I live, Massachusetts, people are extremely critical of those who have anything less than sparkling to say about the United States and how it operates. In Massachusetts? Are you kidding? Open criticism of the gov isn't just tolerated in Massachusetts. It's encouraged. Go to the Midwest if you want to see the other side of things, bubby. Religion as a strictly personal matter is terrific. I prefer to call it spirituality. Religion when practiced collectively is a powerful tool for brainwashing and abusing power. Don't know who said this, but I'm not saying stupid people should be shot outright, but why don't we just take all the safety labels off of everything and let the problem solve itself? That we should stop sending money food aid to third world countries and leave them to their own devices. If the area they're in can't support life, then don't fucking force it. Reddit sucks because of the socially retarded core that forms it. I don't want to kill all pedophiles. In fact, I feel a little bit sorry for them. Most black women I've met are rude. One of my friends, she is one of the nicest, most down-to-earth people I know. But she's the only one I've met really. It seems like 99% of black women I encounter are really rude and unfriendly. I'm not racist at all, this is just something I've observed. My brother agrees and thinks it could be a cultural thing, stemming from families of African origin, where the woman is dominant, and so they don't afford others as much respect. I don't know if that's true or accurate, but would be interested to know others' thoughts on this. If you are a black woman, I would like to know what you think about this. I'm neither black nor female, but offhand I'd say being a black woman means having to put up with an incredible amount of shit, all the time. I'm a black woman and I can confirm this. I'm not sure if this is controversial, but I'm for assisted suicide. Let me die with some dignity. I watched my grandfather turn into a shadow of his former self, slowly dying of cancer. He couldn't get out of the bed for months and he used to go out running 6 AM when he was 70. He begged my father to end it, but he could not because then dad would be charged with murder. Regarding the financial crisis, the people who made $8.50 HR and took out $500k mortgages should be blamed, much like the folks on Wall Street, predatory lending aside. Just because you can do something, doesn't mean you should. Diet soft drinks are bad for you. Each time a racist joke is told, the world is one step closer to the end of all racism. People should be free to look like fucktards if it makes them happy. People on Reddit seem to hate on duckface, trucknuts, fake tan type people, but seriously, if you think that looks cool then go for it. I happen to think khakis, neckbands and Star Trek t-shirts are kinda ugly, but I wouldn't hate on anyone for wearing them. I think people should be free to make duck faces, and I should be free to be smug about it and laugh at them. Pandas are useless. If they go extinct, it will be sad but not dramatic. Waiters and retail workers are not the downtrodden, unsung folk heroes of my time. I get that there's arsehole customers here and there, but there's also an army of disrespectful, sullen, unhelpful, and incompetent service workers in America today, and I refuse to treat them like they're some kind of saints. Getting rid of religion won't change anything. Every drug should be legal. Don't mean just pot, everything. I don't give a damn what you put in your body, so long as you're not driving. A politician's private life should be considered entirely separate from his/her official actions in office. Reproduction is not a basic human right. There are some people who 100% just don't deserve to have children. I'm a communist. I hold the opinion that all land should be state-owned. Edit. I apologize if I'm not answering all questions. I'll try and look through them and answer them when I get the time tonight. Gender roles are okay. As a man that cooks and cleans for his bread-whining girlfriend, don't you dare fug this up for me. Abortion of all severely disabled babies. It is a strain on both the health system and government financial support systems. I hold the opinion that I am a handsome, suave, super cool chick magnet. Everyone disagrees with me though. I'm a sex object. I ask for sex, they object. People at our weeds are some of the most lamest fuggers. Soccer moms have been popping Valium with the same illegality and for the same effect, and they see no need to derive a popular culture or style like there seems to be with smoking weed. People should have a license to breed. For those in the US, civil rights are more important than safety. If protecting civil rights makes us less safe, so be it. Edit to clarify. I hold the opinion that civil rights are more important than safety. If protecting our civil rights exposes us to danger, that's an acceptable price to pay for civil rights. I don't want to surrender my civil rights to make myself or anyone else safer, and I don't want you or anyone else to surrender your civil rights to make me or anyone else safer. Peeing in public should not put you on the sex offenders list. This isn't really controversial, but it needs to be changed. It's better to fap twice or thrice a week than every day. You make me sick. MADD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, are the scourge of the earth. To be clear, they had good intentions at first, but it quickly turned into a propaganda machine aimed at making the government money in 9/11 9-hour laws. Spank all children. Maybe. Tattoos make beautiful people look trashy. Like throwing paint on the Mona Lisa.